What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation. It starts right now. It's GrindersLive taking y'all at the first pitch. First pitch 7:10 on the East Coast. 9-gamer. Of course, there are a couple early games before that, but we're not focusing on those. We're talking about the main slate on both FanDuel and DraftKings. First game, first pitch, Kansas City and Boston, as well as the Mets and Cleveland. 2 games at 7:10. The slate will be dominated by the big decision point of, TJ Zwarych. You guys know TJ, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Not surprisingly, he'll be on later as well for crunch time. And I imagine he will be touting his Blue Jays, who have a team total that is now soared above 7. It's crept up throughout the day. Over 7. Awesome hitting conditions. You're already in cores facing Tanner Gordon. So, yeah, it's a big decision point as far as the slate tonight, what to do with the Blue Jays. Myself and Chop are going to break it down. Chop has those knockers we'll talk about later on. Of course, the BBP suggestion of the day. We'll talk about some tiers. We'll also dig into our favorite pitchers. We have an hour and 10 minutes until we hand it off to crunch time, give or take. We got producer Steve behind the proverbial glass. Let's do it, Chop. Happy Monday. Happy Movie Monday. We can go ahead and drop that first clue for the people as well. For those that are early, give you a shot to bink it. Good luck. First clue is death. Death is the first clue for Movie Monday. Only submit your guesses, official guesses, in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Live stream chat channel. That's a free channel. Most of our Discord channels happen to be free. That is one of them. Chopper, happy Monday. How are things? How was your weekend? Everything good?
I guess I took a guess, Dean, real quick because it's way off. Because
the Great White Hype with the Damon Wayans and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. That because James the Grim Reaper Roper.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's
so
good.
I knew it because I probably knew you probably hadn't even seen it yet, but
Oh no, I've seen Great White Hype many years ago.
That's a great movie. That's funny, man.
Is the guy's name like Irish Terry Conklin or something like that? Was that the guy's name?
Irish Terry. Yep, Irish Terry.
How do I remember that? Why is that in my brain?
It's a great movie because Jamie Foxx. You didn't even hear about Jamie Foxx before at that time, and Jamie came on. Boy, was he good in that movie too. They were all funny, man. Classic Wayans, good movie. Anyway, Dean, how's the Monday? How was the weekend? I'd say I put it like this, Dean. It was a rough one for the Chop, man. Rough weekend, man. Yeah, man. I went to bed Thursday, and I was right before bed. I was like, oh man, I feel something coming on here. Woke up on Friday morning, full blown, like sick as a dog, man. Just couldn't even. Brutal on Friday. Tough day on Friday. Bad night's sleep on Friday night. Woke up even worse on Saturday, and I was like, "Oh man, this is bad." Had to hit up the urgent care and everything, and I'm not even an urgent care guy, man. I usually just sit it out, but I understand. I was having some problems breathing and everything. I was like, "This ain't what's going on here." I got down there, got some meds, and I'm feeling better today. I'm bouncing out of it, so I feel a lot better today than I did on Friday and Saturday. So I'm happy for that. Glad we got some baseball working and can pass the time here because, Mardon says SummerSlam. Yeah, SummerSlam was this weekend, and I'm not a big.
Did you watch the SummerSlam?
A little bit. I'm not huge into it anymore. I did see Brock come out last night, so that was funny, but the only thing that can save wrestling is Stone Cold, man. You got to bring Stone Cold back, but he can't wrestle.
He's got a neck. He can't
got
wrestle
the neck
anymore.
and the knees and everything. So I don't know, man. Hanging in there, Dean. I'm ready for it. It's a fun little Monday slate here. I'm gonna enjoy it. So, every day you wake up is a good day, Dean.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Sorry to hear that. You were you questful coming into the show? I didn't even know, but I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you're going to gut it out. Hopefully you just get better from here. I see there are some guesses, by the way, coming into the YouTube. Those don't count if you happen to get it right. But do we like the De'Aaron Fox signing for San Antonio? I don't know if he's a max guy right now.
What? They maxed him?
They gave him like $229 for 4 years. I don't think I like that. Like I think that's not the guy I want to pair with Wemby for the next 5 years. I like him. Still love him, and they're also now kind of married to him, right? He's their guy. His salary cap and all that kind of stuff. Shout out to him, and good player. Never really shown an ability to win consistently. Good box score guy, right? Is he getting any better? I don't think so. This is kind of his peak. I don't know if I like it, Chop. I mean, they kind of had to because they traded for him. I guess they kind of had to, but
yeah, it's all kind of funny money anyway. It doesn't even matter. The actual price tag doesn't matter. It's what can you do with him? Like, maybe he'll be all right if you Wemby in there and Castle and maybe some other good defensive players, and you can cover up his defensive flaws, and he can just be like do something specific on offense. I think he'd be all right. You just got to put something around Wemby that's decent, and I think he's good enough offensively that he can cover up some of the holes in his game. The big question is how good is Dylan Harper going to be? That's the big question, because if he ends up being pretty good,
he might be better than Fox. Is that possible?
Oh yeah, for sure possible.
Yeah.
What is Fox about? 6'2", 6'3"? Harper, I think, is much bigger than that. Just a different game, just a much different style of game. Don't know if it's going to translate to winning or not. Sometimes that's hard to tell, but if it does, then they're a good team. So we'll see. Oh, Juggalo Nation, rise up! Kirk Deese is in the house. Kirk Deese.
Shout out to Kirkwood.
Shout out to his Red Sox coming off of a big time sweep this over the weekend of the Astros. So
was it a bigger sweep than the Marlins sweeping the Yankees?
No, I was going to bring that up later on. Your Marlins are like on fire. Dean, they're 500 now. Man.
They're 500 now.
So weird. Dean, they absolutely stole all the good prospects from the American League East, man.
Stowers and Ramirez.
God, they just stole them for nothing, for peanuts, man. They're good little team they're building out there. I'm glad they didn't trade their pitchers either, man, because that would.
Well, the Marlins are taking on your Astros, not in this slate, but I was going to bet them tonight. I'm still thinking about it, actually.
I don't know. They're hot and the Astros are cold. It might be the time to pounce, or it could go the other way. The do factor on both ends. One due to lose, one due to win.
I mean, I still believe Sandy's a better pitcher than Jason Alexander, if nothing else. I know Sandy hasn't really shown it this year, but yeah, I know. And Houston's getting healthier too. Not on our main slate. Oh, it's an instant revenge game for Jesus Sanchez. Just realizing that.
Ooh, boom,
first blood for Jesus Sanchez. Pena's back as well. But yeah, we have the 9-gamer. We're not focusing on Houston and the Marlins. Not talking about Baltimore and Philly either. But yeah, the Red Sox are on this slate. Pretty big total there against Bailey Falter. I do like Boston as one of the pivots away from chalky Toronto. Man, I think the Toronto stuff is almost too good to like completely ignore. Are you one lineup tonight? Is it one lineup?
One on DraftKings. Kind of took a look at the slate and said I'm gonna run 20 lineups on FanDuel just to get in a little bit of multi-entry, but one lineup on DraftKings.
By the way, Roth updated the Milwaukee-Atlanta game. Earlier in the day, it was orange yellow. I'll drop this in chat as well. Now it's just straight yellow. So a little bit more optimistic as far as the game playing there in Atlanta. It looks pretty positive. Once I see straight yellow, no more orange, I feel pretty good about it. But he has said what models have been fairly consistent, keeping heavy rain east of Atlanta, giving us a mostly dry evening over the ballpark. I still want to double-check radar pregame, but I'm cautiously optimistic they can play ball through a few light sprinkles. Chance for a delay, but not a very good chance if models are correct. We'll talk pitchers in a second, but I guess Priester is probably in your pool, maybe, if you're running a bunch of lineups, but you got to pay for him these days. I know he's been pretty good of late. This Atlanta lineup, the absence of Acuna looks pretty weak. Harris has now jumped up to the 5-hole. Like White's in there, and Nacho Alvarez and Allen. It's pretty punchless. Matt Olson's there every day because he plays every game. What is his streak at now? I think he's the guy that has the biggest streak in baseball as far as playing every single day. 600 games in a row, something like that. Does that sound about right? I'm just making that up. Somebody give that a Google. Tell me who's playing the most games in baseball. He's the Mikal Bridges of baseball, right? Did you see that stat? Bridges has played more games than every team in basketball the last 4 years. Because, of course, he had that one season where he played 83 games where he's traded. So, yeah, 82 otherwise. I don't know why I'm talking about basketball, but I was just thinking about the longevity of these players that, Olsen and Bridges, nobody's going to catch Cal Ripken. That's a record that's never going to get broken. But, yeah.
Bridges just signed a big extension, man.
I don't know if I like that.
You got to be pretty pissed if you're Jalen Brunson and took that big discount, and then now they're signing all these guys for these massive extensions, and you're just sitting there with your measly $10 million a year. That's peanuts in today's NBA. Man, that's crazy. But we digress. It's baseball season.
Matt Olson, 620 games. There you go, Steve. I was right
what
there.
What was Rippy at? 3,000 or something like that?
3,100, I think, or 3074 or something. I think the night he broke it was like 2716 or something.
Golly.
2632, I'm being told here. So just ridiculous.
So Olsen, what he just accomplished so far up to this point, that massive streak, he'd have to do that like 4 more times just to catch Rippy. I don't think it's happening.
And not happening.
That's what that's what O's fan can hang their hat on, is a nice little Cal Ripken streak. Good for them. Good for them.
I remember he took a lap around the stadium. I mean, it was a whole thing. Like once the game became official in the bottom of the 5th. But is that the best thing that's happened to Baltimore in the last so many years? They made the playoffs. They had a good run, or they had a run, some playoff moments. But it's been pretty few and far between there for Baltimore. Give me your overview. How are you seeing tonight's slate? I imagine you think Toronto is very much dictating. It's a big choice you got to make. I don't think we have a lineup just yet for Toronto, but I assume we're going to get the regulars here against the righty and Gordon. And it's a later game, so not surprising the lineup's not out just yet. We'll get it, I presume, at some point in this show. If not this show, Crunch Time will drop it for us. But is that the key decision point for you, Blue Jays?
No.
Oh.
No. I mean, I'm gonna play some Blue Jays. I can't get away from something. Like you got to play something. So I'm not worried about playing the Blue Jays. They'll be chalky, and whatever you do. I think the way you get different, or the decision point is what you do at pitcher, which is a uniquely designed slate here with 2 guys up top, especially 2 guys up top, and then maybe a little mini tier right after those guys, and then a whole bunch of maybe they can do it, or maybe they get blown ups, and they're all kind of the same. And if you can pick out which one of those guys, or even 2 of those guys that don't get blown up and actually come out, they have big K upside. Some of these guys have big K upside, but big, upside to give up massive earned runs too. So if you can pick out 2 of those guys from that tier, that massive 3rd tier, that's how you get a little different, and that's how you can win this slate. It's just who's it going to be. And we'll talk about the specific names in a minute, but I think the pitching is what is going to dictate how the slate goes for me.
Most popular pitcher is likely to be Soroka for Chicago. We do have a very positive pitching environment today for Wrigley. Let me go ahead and pull up whether I've seen if this changed. But last I saw, I think it changes like top of the hour. But last I saw, it was pretty good for pitching, not so great for hitting. 186 game sample here, according to Kevin Ross Weather Edge tool. Winds coming in from dead center, 9 miles per hour. In that scenario, 16% hit in homers, as far downgrade in home runs, and a 5.6% downgrade in runs just in general. You're also getting a discount on Soroka, who I guess he got kind of an early hook last game, probably in part. And I know Dave wrote about this too. That was kind of my thought process as well, because I was watching that game and it came out like a 4 1/3 or something, 70-some pitches. And that was the slate where he was super chalky, I believe. Or at least I know I had him, and then I wasn't pleased. $7K seems like a really, really good price, and that's going to make him, I think, the most popular pitcher on DK. That's what we currently have it. I'll see what FanDuel has. FanDuel a little bit easier to make stuff work, so probably not the case on FanDuel. I'll give that a refresh. It's much easier to spend up for Fried or Glasnow, currently like 18, 16%. Soroka at 15. You're getting a big downgrade, but you can make 9-7 Fried work. Glasnow at 10-2. FanDuel seems to be a little bit looser these days as far as the salary. Manaya's 8-1. I don't know if he gets that QS, if he gets that quality start. He's getting some early hooks. His pitch count's not spectacular, but and it's all small sample stuff with Manaya. It's just 17 innings, but 32.4% Ks. That's awesome. And he has that amazing matchup against Cleveland. We talk about Cleveland, how dreadful they are versus lefties. I mean, you have a couple, extreme contact guys in Quan and J-Ram, and J-Ram is awesome when he hits the ball, even Santana. But otherwise here, Chop, David Fry, 40% Ks versus lefties. Arias 36, Jones 33, Rocchio 27, Hedges 33, and just the power threats. J-Ram, Santana not so much these days. Fry a little bit. Angel Martinez a little bit too, I suppose, but I feel pretty good about Manaea, especially in that ballpark too. Although I think it's a little bit, pretty good conditions, but the standard rate in Citi Field is pitching friendly. So I do like him as well. The tiers I think are kind of clear as far as the pitchers, right? We're Soroka, Glasnow, Fried, Manaea, and if you want to throw Kikuchi in there against Tampa, pretty good as far as Ks. He has to subdue the power for Tampa. I guess the biggest threat for Tampa would be Caminero, but otherwise their righty power is not incredible. Brandon Lau, one of the better power hitters left on left, less likely to bang one out. But I'm curious your assessments, how you're leaning when it comes to pitchers. Is it clear and obvious like these two or this one, or it's like two of whichever one fits as far as like building my stack or my lineup first?
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Dean?
How are you prioritizing pitching? Are you like for sure? Like, do you feel like you have to play Glasnow? Do you have to play anybody? Do you have to play Fried? Do you have to play Soroka?
No.
Yeah, it's like two of like these good guys.
No. This is kind of like what I was hinting at a second ago when I said that just finding two of the guys somewhere out there that's maybe not as chalky, that they all have a potential to have a good game, and they all have potential to get blown up too. So finding anybody, I'm not prioritizing anybody. Let's put it like that. I kind of feel like maybe they'll start building my one lineup on DraftKings, and I go in and I go, all right, as a placeholder, Dean, not my two pitchers I'm going to use, but as a placeholder, let me plug in Manaea and let me plug in Soroka. That gives me a wide variety of price tags right there. So now let me build my hitting out. I don't care about the salary right now. That's just a guide for me. I build my hitting out exactly like I want it, man. These are the four Toronto guys I want, and then I'm going to add this guy and this guy and this guy. And I look at my salary and I go, okay, I'm 1,400 over. Okay, I can work with that. Now let me go back to pitching, delete those two guys, and let me squeeze in 1,400 less worth of pitching somehow in there. I can do that on this slate. Because I don't need to prioritize any of these guys. I don't feel like, even Soroka, like we'll talk about him in a minute, but Soroka, and he's 38%, 40% maybe, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I don't have to prioritize that. Not at all. He's been good. And we'll talk about the specific numbers. I'm actually shocked, but I don't have to prioritize not a single person from the pitching pool.
Yeah, Soroka just a discount seems pretty good. And I guess he's probably your cash game pitcher as well, but maybe he's a good fade in tournaments. If I'm not totally sure he's as good as like his numbers have suggested. He hasn't really been in his career. I know he had those injuries as well. He was a big prospect at one point for Atlanta, but 25% Ks in the season. Pretty good matchup here against Cincy from a K perspective, and pretty good matchup as far as doing homers, because we talked about that environment in Chicago. I think it's a 7.5 total. Vegas kind of speaks to that 7. It's down to a 7 total. Cincy's barely got over a 3 total. They're dogs here, plus 114. Do we see some guesses here in the live stream chat as far as today's Movie Monday? We know it's not The Great White Hype, or let's see, Ballerina, Meet Joe Black, Dark Knight. Final Destination's a good guess, but it's not Final Destination or Avengers Endgame. Spoilers. Armageddon. Let's go ahead and drop a second clue. We can get some more guesses coming in. The second clue here, Chop, is Friends. Death and Friends. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, WNBA, PGA, UFC, all the goods, all the bells, all the whistles, with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is a la carte. All right. But which pitchers are in the bucket? That's what I want to know. You're talking about there's 22 guys. No. There's 18 guys. There's 9 games. How big is the bucket? How many are in the pool? How many can dip their feet in as far as the pitchers? what do you have it whittled down to? Like you were talking about running 20 lineups. I know it's a little bit different on FanDuel. You're only rostering one. But hypothetically, if you're running 20 on DK, how many are in the pool? Who's in, who's out?
Oh, man. I didn't necessarily cut off the list today like that because I just wanted to keep an open mind on everybody. There's a few guys that I'd be like, no chance. Like, I'm not playing a guy from Coors Field. No, let me take that back. I might play Lauer, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not playing
I know France for Toronto's lineup just came out. Schneider's in there, who we did not expect.
Schneider, what is he? Chips cop? Is his nickname Chips or something?
He's got that mustache, right?
Yeah, he's a cop, like undercover, whatever. I'm not playing Colorado starter. I'm not playing Bailey Falter. Probably not playing Cleveland starter. Other than that, man, I think it's wide open, Dean. So I didn't feel the need to like cut the list down today like that. I just highlight a few guys I really like, and the rest of them are playable outside of the three. Who? What?
Brandon Faught.
As much as I want to mark him off, I don't know. I'm not going to eliminate him. He's probably not that good, and I think I definitely would rather have San Diego stacks. But yeah, I probably wouldn't play him. But that's about four guys right there, and that's it. Now some of these guys I do think I'm not playing Eric Fetty. Let me refresh that list a little bit for you. Some of these guys I think are frauds, and I won't be playing them. But it doesn't mean I'm going to completely ignore the fact that maybe I would, in a perfect scenario, roster them tonight. So I don't know. It's not about who I don't like. It's more about who do I like tonight. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the one that if I would throw kind of like in the middle, and I'm probably not going to get there, but if I was running a bunch of lineups, Adrian Hauser is kind of interesting. Just the matchup against the Angels.
Yeah. He's one of the guys I think are frauds. Like I think maybe he's a little bit fraudulent, but he might be a fraud. He's getting there, though. But, yeah.
I mean, he should see a boost in strikeouts. I know his strikeouts aren't great, but he's been very, very good against righties this year. A 40 ISO, which is pretty spectacular. 226 WOBA as well, and just, getting a ton of ground balls. And there's some strikeout guys, strikeout candidates in this Los Angeles lineup. Sonny Gray is probably another guy most likely won't get to. I never really know how to project Sonny Gray. He's one of those he's one of the tougher guys for me to project. I know he's facing a Dodger team. It's also tough in theory, but they've also not been great. They've not been as advertised of late. I still don't think I'm going to play Gray, but maybe a little bit less likely to get Dodger stacks. Let's see. Chop, you're guessing Scream. I see some people in chat were also guessing Scream. It is not any of the Screams, not any of the 7 Screams, whatever that they have that are made, or A Night at the Roxbury, or let's see, it's not Top Gun or Stand By Me or Minecraft. That looks, I'm not a child, but that looked terrible. I don't know if you saw the commercial for that. That looks like a miserable 90 minutes. The Minecraft movie with Jack Black. I like Jack Black just fine, but it's for kids. So who am I to say if it's a good movie or a bad movie? All right. Other options as far as pitcher, anything else you want to say as far as pitcher that we want to get out there? Patrick Corbin's been pretty good. I don't think we're rostering him necessarily, but wouldn't shock me if he, subdues this Yankee team that just got locked down. Well, I shouldn't say locked down. They lost 11-10 against the Marlins, one of those games. But Aaron Judge should be back tomorrow. I think they're saying possibly tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. Not certain, but that seems to be the plan. I think Lodolo is interesting for tournaments. We've seen him get a spike in Ks of late. We don't really like picking on Chicago, but nobody's going to play him, and in theory, there's some upside there for strikeouts. 23% in the season, 24% specific versus righties. It is a pretty contact-heavy Chicago lineup, though, with the exception of Swanson and Suzuki, but collectively at 17.9%. It's a tough lineup to pick on, and they've been good, up and down. It's just a matter of being a little bit different, I suppose. But if you're running a Toronto obvious stack, Lodolo is an interesting player to pair with him. But Max Fried, we want to talk about Max Fried. Where do you land on him?
Yeah, he's one of. So I'm gonna give 3 guys the elite status, and that's being like I'm throwing that out there, kind of, frivolously tonight. because maybe these guys aren't elite on other slates or whatever. But Fried's elite, along with Glasnow and Manaea. But Fried is he's really good. The thing that stands out to me tonight, amongst a lot of good things for him, is this Texas lineup. As a lineup, they strike out the most of any lineup that's come in so far tonight. Of the active lineups, they strike out the most, around a 26% clip. So he's got that working for him, and he can strike guys out. It's not a powerful lineup, and so yeah, I think Fried's in pretty good shape here to do some damage. I like him. I probably like him more than Glasnow, to be honest with you. But I think I like Manaea the most out of those three guys. And it's not just the salary, which you do save a little bit on him. It's just Manaea's really good, man. Like, he tweaked his pitch arsenal last year. He was great last year. Turned it around this year. Very small sample, but he's picked up right where he left off. Getting big strikeouts. You know, the Cleveland lineup was like they were on the like, I don't know what they were on the edge, man. They were on the verge of pushing the panic button at the trade deadline and trading away all their hitters too. Now they didn't do that, but it just goes to show you the mindset that they're in, which is that they're not that good of a team. So yeah, I kind of like Manaea the most out of those three guys. But Fried, he got some good things working for him. A big strikeout heavy lineup tonight in Texas. I'll say that for him.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Texas lineup. You love to see the path of the righteous man, Ezekiel Duran, in there in the 9-hole, but he should grab him. 2 at bats against him, 42.6% Ks. And just no power, 22 ISO, 133 WOBA. That's definitely a bump to Fried. Collectively, 26.7% as far as strikeouts. So, and their best hitter, Corey Seager, he's been good left on left this year from a power perspective. 260 is really solid as far as an ISO, but Fried is just nails against lefties historically. 30.8% strikeouts versus lefties. The ISO a little bit high at 207. It's probably small sample stuff, 130, like dating back to last season. That's interesting. He's given up more power the last 2 seasons against lefties. I don't know if that lines up with his historical stuff, but better when it comes to that is a little weird. I don't think of him as a reverse splits pitcher. I'm curious what Cardi has him listed as. I guess he is a reverse splits guy. Maybe I just kind of forgot this. Did I forget that he's kind of a reverse splits guy? Fried? He can be. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Moving along. Anything else we want to say as far as the pitchers? If salary wasn't a thing, if ownership wasn't a thing, you're just talking about, we just want the most points out of our pitcher. Do you have it? Fried,
Manaea and Fried. If I just no salary.
Glasnow.
I think so. Yeah, Glasnow can be really, really. Let's put these guys side by side for every start since 2024, since the beginning of 2024, and Manaea's been better in my opinion. I'm probably pretty close, and Glasnow has a big ceiling, but does he have a low floor too, man? He can get himself into trouble quick. So I think I'll put Manaea over each one of them. I mean, okay, no salary at all. Fried and then Manaea would be my starter 1 and then starter 2 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I felt really good about Glasnow throwing 106 pitches, not his last start, but the previous start ahead of that. And then, like you said, the last game he kind of fell into some trouble. 5 walks, the control just was lost, and that pitch count got up to 84 pitches after 4 innings. And they said that's it. And, you get it because the Dodgers don't necessarily care about a random game against the Reds. In the middle of the season that they're playing for September, they're playing for October. They need him healthy then. So, I was a little surprised when he threw 106. But assuming he's, not getting any goofy trouble, probably can throw 90 or so pitches here tonight versus St. Louis, a team we're not especially afraid of. I'm just a little bit cautious on him too, just because like any sign of trouble, he might get a little bit quick hook. Because again, this game doesn't matter nearly as much as making sure he's good to go. I guess it's 2 months from now when the playoffs kick in. Let's see. Checking out the Discord, it's not Leprechaun or any version of Leprechaun. Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure, no, nor Bogus Journey. Is it Bogus Journey? It's not Weekend at Bernie's either. We can go ahead and drop that third clue, Chop. People are getting there. We're closing in. We'll see. The third clue for Movie Monday is wine. W-I-N-E, wine. Death, friends, and wine. That is our first 3 clues. Get in that Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. Tell me what movie I'm talking about. Be the first to do so. 1 guess per clue drop. And you get a week free of RG Premium. Chop, do you want to give the people like a little synopsis? The too long, didn't read, didn't listen, just tuned in of the, your approach to pitching tonight.
Yeah, there's 3 really good, talented arms on the slate. Glasnow, Fried, Manaea, all really good standalone pitchers. Then I'd go to another tier of value guys like a Soroka, very popular, Lodolo. So I think those are the guys in that tier. And then after that, Kikuchi maybe because of the strikeouts. After that, I think it's a free-for-all. So I don't think I'm venturing outside of those guys, but we'll see how it plays out. But if you want pure talent and pay for it, Fried, Manaea, Glasnow in that order. If you want value, Soroka, Lodolo, Kikuchi in that order for me.
Chris wants to know Falter versus the Dead Sox. I mean, I'm not playing Falter tonight.
No chance. The Red Sox they got some pretty promising offense.
They're more alive than they are dead.
And I don't. And then you get it in Boston. Boston's a tough place to pitch anyway. So yeah, I don't want any part of that.
Chop, you guessed the Big Chill. Several people guessed the Big Chill. I don't really know that movie very well.
Oh, my God.
I don't know the Big Chill. I'm aware of it. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Apparently we got a winner, so that ruins the game for everybody else now.
Well, we do have a winner. Yes, I did see somebody actually in – I wonder if it's the same person in YouTube. I saw someone on YouTube get the answer correctly. I also saw somebody mention Sideways, which is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you've seen Sideways before with the great Paul Giamatti. That's wine, I guess, is why you would think of Sideways. But I don't. Chop, if you've never seen Sideways, put that one on the list. Have you seen it before?
It sounds familiar. I'd probably have to see like the movie poster.
Yeah,
it's one of those things, but it sounds familiar.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church, Paul Giamatti. Shout out to D Pike. Got our answer correctly. Let's see. Ken is saying he's watched this movie over 20 times. Yeah, this is a popular movie, by the way, Chop. When you see the answer, it's not super, super obvious, but it'll all make sense, and we reveal more clues. I do want to know I don't know this. I'm going in cold, just like the chat. Myself and the chat, we're at the same level. But today's tiers. You did today's tiers. What is today's tiers category?
All right, Dean. So, just trying to figure some things out here for the tiers. It gets tough every day. It gets tough every day when you're trying to do this. So today, Dean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but today is like something along the lines of National Coast Guard Day.
Okay.
National Coast Guard Recognition Day. I don't know what it is.
Shout out to the Coast Guard?
Yeah, shout out to the Coast Guard, man. But that got me thinking, boy, the Coast Guard has a real probably I don't know, maybe it's just my opinion, but I think they have like a little brother complex, to the other armed forces, kind of like they're like they're like the youngest kid right there, you know what I'm saying? Like the other guys are way above them, and Coast Guard's just they get a bad rap for that anyways. So I was just thinking little brothers. Let's talk about some little brothers on today's show.
Okay.
Like fictional or real life. Little brothers. Who are the best and worst little brothers? Fictional or real life? Best and worst little brother. Now, there's a ton of answers.
Ozzie Canseco is the first thing that comes to mind for no reason.
Couldn't get to them all. Couldn't even fathom them. Couldn't even fathom them all probably. But I just put some tier
Mike
one,
Maddox.
There's a lot of them, Dean.
Here's the board already being revealed. The Wahlbergs. So is this in terms? So is Mark Wahlberg the younger brother of Donnie Wahlberg, right?
Mark's the younger brother of all of the Wahlbergs, I believe. I believe he's the youngest Wahlberg.
I don't know how many there are, but I don't know who these people are. Some of these.
Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's little brother.
Oh no, I didn't know who Low-Key was. Low-Key's in the Marvel universe, right?
Yeah. See, I said it could be fictional or real life.
Okay.
Brother,
Who's
little
Loki's brother?
of Thor. Little brother of Thor.
Okay. Yeah. That's not my world. I've been exposed. Roman Roy's good, though. Roman Roy, of course, from Succession. That's pretty spectacular. We could just power rank the Wayans brothers. I saw somebody said the Wayans brothers. You got at least 5 Wayans, right?
Maybe that's tomorrow. Maybe that's for you tomorrow, Dean. Power rank some Wayans.
Keenan Ivory.
Whoa! Don't give it away.
There's Damon Jr. So Eli is the younger brother, of course, to Peyton, and Roman Roy from Succession. Romulus. I like to call him Romulus personally. I prefer Romulus over Roman, but both of those would qualify. So that means you like Romulus? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's tier 5. He's a tier 5. I don't much care.
So you don't
for
like
him.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't care for his whining and his general attitude throughout the whole show. I don't know. Great actor.
He had the best lines though. Who had better lines than Romulus?
He's fine. It just the whole character didn't do it for me. But so Mark Wahlberg obviously stands out as like he's had some banger movies, man. He's just one of those actors for a long period of time there. So he was a really good little brother. He way outperformed all of his other guys, even though Donnie and the New Kids on the Block was, pretty good for a while. But Casey Affleck, he's not as good as Ben, that's for sure. But he's had some banger movies too. So we'll give him a shout out. Even though I didn't Manchester by the Sea, I could probably have saved my two and a half or 3 hours. But other than that, these guys got. In fact, I was just watching Casey Affleck last night with the Gone Baby Gone. Is that his?
Oh, that's a great movie. Is he in that? Gone Baby Gone?
There's one with Ben, and it's like where his wife disappears, right? And then there's one with Casey Affleck where they're trying to find the missing baby, and it's like they're both similarly titled.
That's the Boston one. I guess they're both Boston ones, aren't? No.
Yeah, they always do Boston. But anyway, I was watching it last night. Casey he's a good actor. Gone Girl is Ben. Gone Baby Gone. Yeah. Gone Girl. So Casey Affleck. Eli, I'm neutral on. Like, I don't care. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's all that great. But, boy, he stuffed it in Brady 2 times. He stuffed Brady in the locker 2 times, man. So you got to – I'm kind of neutral on him. It is what it is. Low-key, I didn't care for his antics. I'm a big Thor guy, so I didn't care for Loki's antics. And then Roman Roy, big whiner. Where's
Tito Jackson? No love for Tito?
Lots of good siblings, little siblings I could go with, Dean, but can't name them all.
Yeah, well, that's how the board works. It's the people get upset when their guess is not on the board. You can only make 5, and only 3 are like good. So that's just how it goes. By the way, we have TJ coming on later. I don't see him lurking in chat, but I assume. I'm going to be presumptuous here a little bit. Probably Spidey. Spidey's going to be coming along with TJ. The key to Spidey, the more likes we get, the more Spidey bombs TJ will drop. So hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. All right, let's go ahead and throw these 18 teams on the tier board. Again, kind of a late start here. 7-10 start, Kansas City and Boston. Brian Bayo, he's throwing baseballs versus Bailey Falter. Boston, pretty heavy favorite, minus 164. Sort of a crosswind. I did see it looked pretty good earlier from a weather edge perspective. I think it still is. Last I saw, 140 games, pretty heavy sample. Crosswind towards third base. 82 is the temp. 22% bump in homers, 7% bump in runs. Yes, I think we both kind of like the Red Sox. You kind of hinted at it before. And Bayo, is one of those guys I don't really love picking on. If I do, it's probably with lefties, and don't really love the lefties on Kansas City collectively. Like these, Frazier and Rave and Isbell, and probably one of those guys disappears at some point in this game. Yaz is there too. Your thoughts, Kansas City and Boston?
Yeah. KC's a tier 4 for me. I'm just not impressed with their lineup. They have to be like somebody in that lineup has to be historically hot for them to have any relevance, I think, these days. And so I'm not banking on that. Boston, that's a tier 1. I'm jumping already on the board on a tier 1. It's a 5.3 implied team total. You got a pitcher on the other side there throwing to you that's creeping up on a 5 xFIP, over a 5 Sierra. Just not particularly good. Yeah, I'm going with Boston as a tier one team. I like the way the offense is starting to get structured out there. They're missing a couple guys for injury, but I don't think it'll hurt them very much. They're pretty deep. So Boston's a tier 1, man.
All right. Boston hanging out there with Mark Wahlberg. It's Cleveland and the Mets, the other 7-10 game. Shamania, you talked him up a good bit, so I imagine Cleveland's going to be hanging out with Romulus. We'll see in a second. Slate Ciccone on the other side. The Mets are pretty heavy favorites here, minus 205 at home. Pretty good environment, though, as that ballpark goes. And Ciccone pretty vulnerable to lefties as well. So Soto, Nemo, they look pretty solid. We got Cedric Mullins also drawing the start here. Mauricio, the rookie, he's kind of buried in that lineup, but been pretty good versus righties as well. Cleveland and the Mets. What do you got, Chop?
The Mets at home are a tier 3 for me tonight. They just don't stand out. I think they're fine, but they just don't jump out. So they're a tier 3. Now, it's the Cleveland side that gets interesting here, Dean, because they are a tier 5. I'm putting them down at the bottom against mine. I don't want no piece of that. But it's interesting, Dean, because here early in this game, we're already going to get to Chopper's knocker blocker. See what I'm saying, Dean? Yeah.
Some relievers. Which reliever are we talking about?
Knocker blocker is usually going to come from a team that's in tier 4 or 5 because I've taken bullpens into account on all this. And then with Cleveland being in a tier 5, I wanted to highlight somebody from New York because at the deadline, Dean, they went out and they made trades. I don't know if you watched the deadline stuff, but reliever was a very popular option. It's one path. It's one path that can quickly get you through the playoffs if you do it the right way. New York tried to do that. Some say they overpaid for their relievers. That's okay. Uncle Stevie don't care. I'm highlighting Tyler Rogers, Dean. Now, I'm not sure if you know who Tyler Rogers, 34-year-old right-hander, 34 years old.
Where of him?
Yeah, I had to check that. Checking back through his stats throughout the years. He's been okay. He's been an okay reliever for almost all his career. He's had maybe 1 or 2 years where it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. But he's interesting to me because I don't know if you've actually seen him pitch. He's old school, man. Old school submarine. He's not even a sidearm guy. He's a pure submarine. He's Kent Tekulve, Dean. I don't know if you know who Kent Tekulve is.
I remember Kent Tekulve. I remember his card. It was a sports
card. Tyler Rogers, his knuckles scrape the mound when he throws. It's phenomenal. You got to love the angle. That's what makes it so difficult, Dean, because the strikeout.
Chad Bradford.
There you go. The strikeout rate's under 20%, but he still comes through with a 2.96 xFIP. So he's got the angle working on the pitch. He's a 2-pitch pitcher, Dean. Nothing but sinker slider. 74%, 26%. And you know what? The sinker tops out at 83 miles or averages 83. The slider 74. You think, how does he doing it? Just watch him. The angle is impossible. The angle's impossible, Dean. So he's getting it done. I got to give him a shout out. The Mets went on and got him. They say some people think they overpaid for him, but you know what? If you skate through a couple of series and your bullpen helps you get there and you're in the World Series, you won't. Who cares if you overpaid?
Flags fly forever, they say. Yeah, so I talked about this on a previous show, Chop, as far as San Diego trading for Mason Miller, and I thought it was an overspend, especially if that prospect, the 18-year-old comes out to be anything like, C.J. Abrams or something like that they've traded away in the past. But they're making it like a 5-inning game in the playoffs, San Diego. Their bullpen, I guess you could argue they had one of the best bullpens in baseball already, and then they got the biggest arm available. I know you have no knockout blocker there, but I'm thinking, like, how do you stack against San Diego? I guess there's going to be the time where you get to the starter, you pounce, and they don't roll out the best of the best, the rest of the game. But their bullpen is ridiculous. So yeah, just looking at the names Suarez and Miller and Adam, it's loaded. And we haven't talked about Arizona just yet, but I don't know how you really stack up against the Padres on a big slate. But let's scoot along here. We can drop that fourth clue. We're just playing it out for fun now. The fourth clue for Movie Monday is marriage, death, friends, wine, and marriage. That is the first four. We have one more on layaway for Movie Monday. The next game we're going to talk about here, Chopper, it is Milwaukee and Atlanta. Roth did downgrade, or I guess upgrade, depending on how you look at it. Less frightening. It's just straight yellow here. A little bit of a weather issue. Keep an eye on it. Roth will give it another look, I imagine, before first pitch. But as of right now, assuming it's going to be fine, Eric Fetty, not that you necessarily want to roster him against the Brewers. Brewers, one of the hottest teams in baseball. Quinn Priester on the other side. We sort of outlined this Atlanta lineup earlier, how it's just not that great. It looks really bad when Acuna's out of there. Speaking of trade deadline, I don't know what. Ozuna, is he just not playing much anymore now? I think he might have had a no trade. Is that why he didn't go anywhere? I would imagine they would have got rid of him if they could have, but he's not playing today either, which might be an upgrade in that offense the way he's played this season. Anyways, Brewers, Braves, where do you want to throw them on the tier board?
Yeah, the Braves just not exciting tonight. Braves are going in tier 4. They're just not the same team. They've fallen off big time this year, so that's a tier 4. Milwaukee, maybe a controversial take here, Dean. They're going in tier 1 for me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Fetty in general. Under 15% strikeout rate, massive expected earned run allowed numbers, big walk rate, big hard hit rate. Just not a big fan. Milwaukee can get it done with the offense. Didn't they just score like double digit? I have to look that up. I think they've scored.
It seems like they do that often. Yeah.
Yeah, they get it done, man. So not afraid of Fetty. So going tier 1 for Milwaukee. I'm trying to give some options here outside of Toronto because we all know Toronto is what they are tonight. But other than that, there's some pretty good spots elsewhere. I just want to highlight that.
We saw Terang go double dong last game. Can't really assume that's going to happen again. He has 8 homers in the season now, which I feel like is ahead of his season high or career high. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think of him as a guy that has 15 homer potential per se. He's got some wheels though. Yelich looks really good too. You mentioned Fetty. The walk rate is the second highest in the slate at 10.5%. The Ks are 14.2%. I think that's the worst. Nope, it's just slightly better than Tanner Gordon. It is the highest Sierra though at 5.42. Which is 5.33 ERA, 5.42 Sierra, xFIP is 5.26. Homer to fly ball is just 10.8%, so it's not like he's been unlucky there. So and like 287 BABIP. I want to pick on Fetty as well. I do like this Milwaukee. The fringe guys I can't really like the Perkins and the Lockridge and Joey Ortiz. They're cheap, I guess, but do we like any of that nonsense? I guess to sort of fill out a stack, I suppose. You're fine with it. You don't want to start there, though. Andrew Vaughn's been the guy that's been a revelation since he was in the minor league system there for the White Sox. And, they let him go to Milwaukee for basically peanuts, right? Your favorite cheapie? You have a favorite cheapie amongst this Milwaukee nonsense?
Let me pull it up for you real quick. It'll take me 3 seconds to isolate. Let me see. Judging by the batting, Terang leading off is good. Vaughn third is great. I mean, once you get down to the 5 spot, Isaac Collins is solid. Blake Perkins is decent. Even Anthony Siegler I could get behind. I wouldn't do like 3 of those guys, but pick one of those. Maybe pick 2 of those and pair them with Yelich and another guy up top. Yeah, I just think 1 through 7 is fine with me. I'd probably sit out Ortiz and Lockridge, but I'm cool with anybody 1 through 7. I think is good.
Cam is telling me in chat to respect Joey Ortiz, and he's got 263 at-bats this year versus righties and an 83 ISO. I don't respect that. I'm sorry. It's not good. And a 242 WOBA. That's also not good. So, I mean, he's cheap, but he's not good. He's not – I mean, can he do something tonight? Sure. Why not? To fill out the stack, whatever. But he's not a good hitter of the baseball when compared against his peers. All right, Cincinnati and the Cubs, 7 total. Positive pitching environment, not great for hitters. Doesn't mean you can't roster them, but nobody's playing the hitters tonight here. Lodolo versus Soroka. Soroka, one of the more popular pitchers on the board, in large part to the asking price. Lodolo's kind of an interesting tournament play, but it's a tough matchup there for Chicago, no matter what the weather is. In Wrigley, Reds, Cubs. What do you got?
Still tipping, Dean. Still tipping. Now, by now you know what that means, don't you?
Tipping on 4s.
Both of them going in tier 4. 4-4. Don't like them. Soroka, been decent. Lodolo, been steaming hot lately. Striking guys out, shutting down good offenses. Cubs have been a little bit vulnerable. We don't have great hitting conditions. The Cubs offensive has been a lot more vulnerable lately than what we saw earlier in the year. When Pete Crow Armstrong isn't playing at a Hall of Fame level and he kind of evens out a little bit. There's this old saying, Dean, it says water finds its level. Now, I'm not saying, Pete Crow's not a really good player, but maybe he's not a Hall of Famer like he was the first 2 months of the year. So anyway, I kind of think both these teams are tier 4 for me. I'm not jumping on this tonight.
He's I'm not sure if you mentioned it. He's not playing tonight left on left. He's out of the lineup. PCA.
Yeah, but the point was, just that when he's not like on fire, or Kyle Tucker is not on absolute fire, the offense can be a bit vulnerable, even though it's really good. So when those guys aren't on fire, it doesn't look as daunting as it once did this year.
I caught some slack for not besmirching, but just pointing out the fact that PCA chases a lot and he strikes out a lot. And I love the skill set, but like I thought he would come back down to life because those metrics suggest that he was, hitting above what the, you can't strike out as many times as he strikes out and chase as much as he does and have those sustainable numbers. But he's great. If I can buy stock in PCA, I certainly would. All right, let's move forward. It's the Yankees and the Rangers. Patrick Corbin, Max Fried. Ahmed Rosario getting the draw here in the 2 spot here. Here's TJ in chat. I knew I would wake TJ up. TJ's the biggest PCA stan. He refuses to listen to actual stats, but okay. Maybe we'll talk about it when he comes on. I don't know if we have time to do such things, but it's okay. It's the Yankees and the Rangers, 7.5 total. Yankees are favored. Max Fried, better pitcher on the bump. They are rolling out some lefties. Bellinger's in there. Jazz in there. Austin Slater feels like a pinch hit risk, as he typically is, historically is. He's a quote-unquote lefty masher, some would say. Caballero also drawing the starts. Feels like another guy, possible pinch hit stuff. They have Wells in there getting the start. I know the Yankee fans are very upset that Rice is not playing a ton, but they're both lefties. Ideally, your battery, one would be lefty, one would be righty. That's not the case there for the Yankees. But just a 4-team total on the road in Texas. And then we talked about how much we like Fried. He keeps the ball on the ground. He rarely gets blown up unless some goofy BABIP stuff happens. So I don't really know how you stack against him unless you're just, saying, well, I'm just betting on goofy things to happen. Yankees, Rangers, Chop?
I don't like this game offensively very much at all, Dean. Even though Patrick Corbin would typically be somebody I run the stack against on most slates. And if Judge was in the lineup and playing well, then maybe I would bump New York up. I think that would bump New York up a tier at least, to be honest with you. Judge he could be a game changer, but he's not there though. And I'm not in love with this lineup. So the Yankees are a tier 4, even though Corbin has just been getting away with it all year long. But they're just a tier 4. Texas, that's a tier 5. I'm not picking on Max Fried with a high strikeout lineup, and he's in a pretty good hitter's ballpark here, at least compared to his home ballpark of a short porch out there. So yeah, I kind of don't like Texas at all here. Tier 5 for me.
All right, 4 games to go. The Toronto Blue Jays are up next. They're in Colorado. They have a team total north of 7. Taking on Tanner Gordon. Luke's leading off. Bichette, Velati, Barger, Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Loperfido, who was expected to be higher in the lineup, at least according to our projections earlier in the day. He's actually in the 8-hole, the lefty there versus Gordon. I do want to count the number of lefties for Colorado, because last I checked, I think it's 1. But, things have shuffled around with the trade deadlines. They might have an extra one. They might have lost one. Colorado also, the team total close to 5 against Eric Lauer. They're loading up on righties against them. Warming has been heating up. He's been spectacular so far in his cup of coffee in the 5-hole. That's Warming burnable for the Rockies. I was also seeing that does not hit the ball hard. Just be, his hard hit rate is not good. And in the minors, he wasn't the ball hard, but he was getting away with it. And so far, he's got away with it in the majors as well. So good for him. It's a slew of righties. I think it's 9 by my count. No lefties facing Eric Lauer here for Colorado. I think we know what you're going to do with Toronto. And then there's Colorado. What do you got?
I mean, Toronto's a tier 1. I'm not gonna play any games with it. It's a big old team total against not just a pitcher who you're going to get right away, who's not very good, but everybody who's going to follow him is not particularly good. That's a tier 1. I'm not going to play games with it. Colorado's the interesting thing here, Dean, because I'm going to put them in tier 3. They're in Coors Field with some pretty favorable hitting weather, some pretty decent hitting weather. Like it's already a good stadium, and the weather doesn't hurt you tonight at all. It actually kind of helps you a little bit. But I only want them in tier 3. Despite that, typically when I look and see the name Eric Lauer, I don't know, I get this thing like, that's not a good pitcher. I remember Eric Lauer. He's not good. Eric Lauer's been pretty damn good, man, this year. Like I could play Eric Lauer in Coors Field on this particular slate. I think I could make a case for that. He's been solid. He's got as far as these pitchers are concerned tonight. What is that? One, two, like fourth highest K rate this year of all these starters on this slate tonight. Very, very respectable under 4 xFIP, nearly 3.5 Sierra. He's been solid. If this game wasn't in Coors Field, we'd be talking about Eric Lauer as one of the better options tonight on a kind of a weak middle tier slate of pitching. So I'm neutral on Colorado. It's Coors Field with good weather. They could blow it up, but Lauer's been pretty decent. So
what is Steve showing us here? I know this is South Park, but how is this in relation to the conversation?
It says Coors Field.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Oh, I guess that makes they're in a. I don't remember this episode, but I guess it makes sense. They're in Colorado. That's where the show is based. So I imagine that they'll visit Coors Field on occasion. The other part of your case, if you want to make a case for Lauer, Chop, is that he's been reverse splitsy, and on the season, 28.3% Ks versus righties. And again, this lineup is 9 righties. So I'm not sure if I'm going there, but I hear you. I don't think it's the worst idea. 5th clue for Movie Monday, the first floor, 4, death, friends, wine, marriage, and drum. Drum was the last clue. Drum, death, friends, wine, marriage, and drum. We already have a winner, but I know Chop's still trying to get there. Some people are still playing along, so good luck with that. 3 games to go. We have the knockers coming up. Crunch time coming up about 10-15 minutes or so. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, TJ Zwarych, TastefulTides, Tim Buell as well. Tampa and the Angels, 8.5 total. That's Kikuchi versus Adrian Hauser. No Tampa lineup just yet, I don't think, unless it just came out. Got to give a refresh. No Tampa just yet. We do have the Angels. Angels looks pretty standard. I think it's pretty standard. You tell me. Kikuchi versus Hauser. Where do you want to throw the Rays and the Angels on the board? So far, no teams. Casey Affleck's all alone. No teams in tier 2.
Yeah, he's about to get a little company, Dean. But Tampa's going in tier 4 against Kikuchi. Yeah, I'm just not in love with it. I don't know. You could sell me on them being higher, but I'm going tier 4 for Tampa. Yeah, I know you probably. I think you said you had a little love for Adrian Hauser, but man, I'm putting LA in tier 2. I did this pre-show. I don't have time to take your feelings into account, so I'm going LA in tier 2. I feel like Hauser's he's mundane. Like there's nothing about his game that excites me. I certainly don't want to roster him. He's not going to be a big strikeout guy. The Angels lineup can be sneaky good at times. I think they're missing a couple guys tonight that I thought might be in the lineup that are pretty decent hitters.
Their catchers flipped, but they're kind of the same, right?
Well, isn't Logan O'Hopp's probably a little bit better?
Yeah, a little
offensively. So, but other than that, they got a pretty decent lineup, man. They come out with a little pop, with Neto and when Trout's healthy, and Adele's had a really nice resurgence of a career this year. Like he was left for dead as a busted prospect before this year. So I'm gonna put him in tier 2, man. No apologies. Yeah. No apologies.
My counter to that is that it's mostly righties, right? The best hitters are righties, and the season 5% walks versus righties, 40 ISO versus righties, a 55% ground ball rate versus righties. So he's been great, as far as subduing power, subduing hits, 226 WOBA. But I'm also not here to crown Hauser, and I'm not sure if he's that good. He's probably not that good. Kind of small sample stuff going on there. San Diego, Arizona, JP Sears, Brandon Fox. No San Diego lineup just yet. We do have Arizona against the lefty Sears. You do have the lefty masher, one-time lefty masher, and James McCann did crack that lineup. A cheap Tyler Locklear as well. The absence of Gino is certainly felt. No Suarez in Arizona leaves a pretty big gap on this team. Where do you want to put the Padres and the D-backs? I assume the roof is closed, but I do want to confirm.
Yeah, Dean. Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, one of the best to ever do it, suited up in war number 22. And both these teams are going in the 2s, 22, 2-2 for each one of them. Arizona, San Diego. Arizona against JP Sears. I like I like some of these righties in this lineup against JP Sears. So I'm going to put them in two because I think I could do a little mini stag with him at the very least. I mean, not super impressed by there's nothing about him that scares me. And they get a park upgrade. San Diego gets a park upgrade offensively playing in Arizona. That always helps. As far as San Diego gets the park up. So against Brandon Pfaadt, I'm putting them in tier 2 also. I mean, you asked me earlier if I would cut Pfaadt. He's borderline cuttable in my, pool tonight because I think San Diego gets that park upgrade. I think they do better. So to recap, Arizona gets some right-handed hitters against the lefty. I really like some of these guys against lefties. San Diego gets the park upgrade and a pretty decent matchup. Yeah, and I'm going 22 on both of these guys. I like them.
You mentioned Emmitt Smith in Arizona, and I was thinking about remember he played for the Cardinals? I mean,
he did at the end of his career, man. He did.
As a Cowboy fan, you probably want to forget that. And just as a football fan, most of us want to forget that because it was pretty uneventful. Do you have 30 seconds on Micah Parsons and how you feel about Micah Parsons and Jerry? I'm sure you have 20 minutes, but you do it in 30 seconds?
I think it's much ado about nothing. He wants a contract extension. He wants it before he plays a meaningful down just in case of injury. And the Dallas tries to hold out as far as they can on everything for the reasons they know why, and they got their reasons why. And I guess they don't want to pay that money, and then you go out and blow an Achilles, and then, you had a wasted year of that $50 million. So teach their own, but I think it's a negotiating tactic. I don't think you'll see him in another uniform for the next 5 to 7 years. It'll be Dallas. It's just a negotiating ploy. It's about how they get there.
Yeah, and like some argue like Jerry Jones, even though it's like negative press on him, he just likes being in the news. Just keeps Dallas on people's brain, I guess, which is an interesting argument. Like maybe because I don't think he looks great in this, but it always seems to turn out the same way. Like you said, they're just going to sign. That's how it goes.
Yeah, these guys are billionaires, and they act like some people act like they don't know what to do with their money. Like they don't know, right? That, oh man, if you sign them a year early, you can save X amount of dollars. But how do we know these guys can't take that $70 million signing bonus that they would have paid out this summer and put that $70 million signing bonus off for another year and invest it properly and make whatever on it? Like these guys are smart like that. They could probably use that money and make more money, so much money off of that it's just a drop in a big old bucket to them as far as money. So I think they'll be fine.
Speaking of football, Chop, I should mention Fantasy Labs. That's your home for season-long fantasy football as well as best ball content. You get access to rankings and projections, articles, and more from award-winning expert Sean Corner. That's Oddsmaker, as well as Chris Raybon. Fantasy Labs, they now have an app. It allows you to get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, lineup advice on the go. Sign up now. We have a promo code for you. It's RG15. RG15 gets you $15 off the content there for fantasy football, season-long fantasy football, and best ball content over at Fantasy Labs. The last game
I just went to the Best Buy yesterday, Dean, for the first time in a long time.
I haven't been to Best Buy. I cannot tell you the last time.
I know, but I really
how are they still in business? It's just like an Amazon storefront.
I really wanted something, and I didn't want to wait.
What'd you get?
I wanted the Chromecast with Google TV thing for your TV, but those are not made anymore. They stopped making them, so I had to go with what the option is that replaced it, which is a Google TV streamer or something like that. I wanted to make sure I got the right thing, so I had to go in person, talk to the guy.
I'm not sure what's going on in Pittsburgh, but their lineup just came out a half hour before the game. So, but I guess that's just how Pittsburgh operates these days. Maybe they're waiting on somebody injury-wise. I don't really know, but Pirates did eventually drop their lineup for a 6:40 start against Justin Verlander. Last game we're going to talk about here, Chopper, it is the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Tyler Glasnow, Sonny Gray. Glasnow, one of the more popular pitchers. Sonny Gray, pretty good pitcher. Not terribly popular because the matchup here is tough versus Los Angeles. We are expecting Max Muncy to be back. That's the expectation. He's currently projected there. I assume he has his glasses as well. We haven't seen him in a bit. I thought he was done for the year. When you saw the injury, you saw the play with his knee at third base, but we're expecting him to play baseball tonight. Nothing official there just yet. Where do you want to put the Dodgers and St. Louis?
Oh, Four Eyes Muncy. Four Eyes Muncy, man. Tyler Glasnow, St. Louis, no thank you. Tier 5, don't want any piece of that. The only thing I'm putting the LA Dodgers in tier 3, and the only reason they even make it up there is because Sonny Gray has had his moments in the past month where he's been terrible, like absolutely brutal. So just out of a deference to that, I'll keep them up there. But I'm really not super stoked about the Dodgers lineup, and Sonny Gray can be good, so they're tier 3 for me. But yeah, the St. Louis gets no love at all tonight. Even though Glasnow can be bad, I don't want any piece of that.
You did build a thing here, Chop. We did build a picture to some degree, but we'll go ahead and recap the board. If you're joining us late, by the way, Chop, this was Chop's rankings. He ranked Younger Brothers. Younger Brothers was his ranking for today's tiers. Chop, think of those. Think of the knockers. Think of the BEP suggestion as well. Going to get that from you in just a minute, but I do want to recap the board. Tier 1 is Mark Wahlberg. It's got Boston, Milwaukee, and Toronto. Casey Affleck. Ben's younger brother, that is the Angels, San Diego, Arizona. Eli Manning, the Mets, Colorado, and the Dodgers. You watch that Eli Manning show where he goes undercover? You watch that? It looks interesting, but
it looks interesting, but there's so much.
I didn't click on it.
His brother did. His Peyton's Places. I only got through like 3 of those. I couldn't even there's so much stuff to watch, man.
It's too many things. Too many
options. I couldn't even get in. Peyton's Places look pretty good too.
Low-key, am I saying that correctly? Low-key?
Yeah, close enough.
Kansas City, Atlanta, Chicago, Cincinnati, the Yankees, and Tampa, and all the way down there with Romulus, Roman, Roy. It is Cleveland, Texas, and St. Louis. Do want to recap today's Movie Monday as well. Chop, you're still, I don't think you haven't quite got there. Maybe we'll help you out here. We did get a winner in the Discord on 3. I think that was par. Shout out to D Pike getting a week free of RG Premium. Death was the first clue, and that was in reference to the star, one of the stars. There's co-stars in this movie. When somebody dies, they have a will, a legal declaration of a person's wishes regarding the disposal of their property after death. Will is the name of one of the characters, the actors, Will Ferrell. There is a scene in this movie where Will Ferrell and his co-star, they become friends. Some would say they became best friends. They just became best friends when they realized they had so much in common. I saw somebody in chat in the YouTube talk about the Catalina wine mixer. The Catalina wine mixer, that's what wine was. There it is. Producer Steve showing us on the screen. And that's look at. Yeah, why do you have Randy Jackson's autograph on the martial arts weapon? That's the only thing he had to sign. These two became stepbrothers through marriage, Chop. And then the 5th clue was drum. There you go. You remember, look at Steve. He's just killing it here with these gifts. Now, there's a scene you probably can't show with there was a body part on the drum kit earlier in the movie. I don't know if you recall, Chop, but that's what that was in reference to. The movie, of course, is Step Brothers. I imagine you've seen it. I assume you have a thought.
Yeah, it was a good movie, very funny and all. But I mean, the whole key to your board today, like how getting to will from death. Will, like death could go so many directions. Will was just not where my head was at on that one. So yeah, but if somehow you came out with Will Ferrell on that, you're golden the rest of the way. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me. I could never got to that one, so I was in the wrong place, And Friends, I was thinking, man, it's an actor from Friends, the TV show Friends. I got to go that direction. So you threw me off, man. You got me. You bested me today, sir.
Well, you know how you can get me back? You give me the knockers and you give me the BEP suggestion of the day.
I can do that. I don't have to think about it. I'm prepared for the show. I've had this for hours now, sitting in my layaway, hoping these guys made the lineup. That's all, Dean. Today's a special treat for you, Dean.
Okay.
Today's special, man. Because in every DFS player's life, some guys, it might happen one time, and some guys only dream about it and it never happens. Certainly doesn't come along very often, that's for sure. Unless you're hoop 24/7, Mike Petta, which is you take home 2-for-1 knockers, Dean. You get double team knockers. You see where I'm going with this, Dean?
No, I'm not there. I'm trying to figure it out.
You double up on your knockers. 4 knockers are staring you in the face instead of 2. You see what I'm saying now, Dean?
I mean, I'm waiting for you to complete. I'm still kind of lost. I'm not
You're
exactly
lost.
sure.
BVP suggestion of the day. You don't get 1 today. You get 2, Dean.
Oh,
You
okay.
get 2. And guess what, Dean? It's a 2 for 1 because my BVP suggestions of the day happen to also be my knockers. It all fell into place. It's a perfect storm, like a Mark Wahlberg movie with George Clooney. It's the perfect storm, Dean.
It's kind of sad at the end.
BVP suggestion of the day and the knockers are both in Milwaukee. Christian Yelich, William Contreras. They hit all the criteria. Woo! They hit all the criteria for both of them.
Let's see. William Contreras, 9 hits in 16 at bats versus Eric Fetty. A couple homers as well. Where's Yelich? Now I got to see what Yelich has. 8 hits in 16 at bats. That's 6 singles, a couple doubles. No homers. No homers. I thought you were thinking about getting goofy with the Yankees. Ahmad Rosario has got 2 homers and 3 at bats versus Patrick Corbin. And Austin Slater also has a couple homers versus Patrick Corbin. Even Stanton, but he has 2 homers versus everybody. He has 27 at bats versus Patrick Corbin. But wow, that's we got the knockers taken care of as well as the BAP suggestion. Additionally, crunch time. Crunch time is coming in. We got TJ Zwarych. TJ, one of the greatest DFS players, all of Saskatoon, Canada. He's playing the role of Roth. TastefulTides, Tim Buell, and we have Dave Potts. Dave Potts of the $1 Million Musings. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and segue to crunch time right now. TJ, what's up? How are you?
Just taking offense to how wildly you altered our Pete Crow Armstrong argument a month ago, but that's all.
Well, you know what? I said he strikes out a lot and he doesn't walk, which
that's not what happened. You said he sucks against lefties after I picked him against the low strikeout left-handed pitcher to hit a home run. So I pointed out he strikes out a lot, but he also has power against lefties. So this is a good spot. This is a complete recreation of the.
Ask the court reporter to pull up the log from a month ago or so, because I don't think there's any of this is true. But what did he do that night? Did he homer or did he not homer? What does the scoreboard say?
Well, I actually had him for +4 total bases, and he had 3 barrels in the game, including 2 doubles. So my bet hit.
What did Spidey have him for?
Well, he used a Spidey bomb. Spidey bomb didn't hit. That's fine. The point still stands that he has power against lefties.
Is Spidey not playing? Is he napping? Is he on vacation? I haven't seen Spidey pop up at all in chat. Is he not doing his thing tonight?
So interestingly enough, as I put in the YouTube chat, I was going with Christian Yelich as Spidey bomb #1, and then that happened to be Chops Knocker. So I don't know if we should double down full confidence or
triple down
triple down full confidence.
I mean, that's just respectfully, man. That might be too much for DFS guys to handle. A threesome? A foursome? That'd be a foursome.
We might have to sub it out. It might be too much for the people to handle. There are some Spidey bombs lurking. Spidey wasn't napping today, but
that's some serious Big T on the workbench stuff right there. You can't go that far.
I was napping today. I had a weird day. So my wife Ava and my baby Natasha, they were at the lake, and so I woke up at about 8 a.m. this morning, and I thought, I have nothing pressing. I'll sleep for another hour or two. And I woke up at 1:45. And I felt like I was on another planet. I didn't know what happened, didn't know where I was, who I was, but feeling real refreshed and energetic now. So I guess I must have needed it.
So 1:45, you're talking not East Coast time, you're talking your time. So this is
my
about
time.
an hour.
So 3:45 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to be clear. Yeah. All right. Well, you look refreshed. It's going to be an hour-long week here in the DFS streets. Chopping anything else before you step aside and make way for crunch time?
Let me see. Let me go through my notes. Nah, I think we're good.
Tim, will we get a Roscoe sighting tonight? Where's Roscoe? Is Roscoe lurking?
He was just here. He just jumped down, so I'm not sure, Dean. We'll see. We'll see what he wants to do.
We need a Roscoe rocket. Maybe Roscoe likes Yelich as well. Why don't we make it everybody will be on Christian Yelich this evening. All right. You get Dave Potts. You get Tim Buell. You get TJ. TJ, take it away.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to MLB Crunch Time. As Dean said, I'm your host, TJ Zwarych. We got Spidey Bombs coming for the people. First one was going to be Christian Yelich, so we'll give you a little bonus one, and we'll say Christian Yelich. You can find it for as good at plus 625 at some places. And we'll go Will Smith as well at plus 425 for the bonus Spidey Bomb, and we'll get a second one at a third one, technically, at 150 likes to go along with Yelich and Smith. So keep hitting that like button. Shout out to Dean and Chop for the great GrindersLive show to help me get prepared for this slate. Now I'm actually feeling really good about it. But joining us are two of the sharpest minds in the biz. No Roth today, but luckily no big weather stuff to worry about either. Maybe just a little bit of rain in Atlanta. And helping us break down the slate. First up, we got Shiver Me Timbo. I haven't used that one in a while. TastefulTides, Tim Buell. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing well, TJ. Always great to have a show with you two. Love doing shows with Cheese and with TJ. This is a really awesome GPP slate. This is, I think, personally, a pretty difficult slate for cash games and single entries.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that because I'm looking at it from a 150 lineup perspective, and that's where I really like it. There's a lot of spots that I want to spread out, a couple spots I really want to lock into. And so, yeah, I agree with you from that sense 100%. And to help us sort through it all, we got Dave Potts. Cheeseisgood. How you doing, Cheese?
I'm good. Yeah, I would have just absolutely quit and not showed up if we didn't have the Canadian on Toronto Chalk Night. So I'm glad you're here. It's only fair. Yeah, this is a crazy slate
to have Toronto and Coors. Like, I haven't seen them with a total that looks like that in a while, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's definitely low on the low side there at 7+. So
starting off with, we have a big total in Coors. We have a ton of pitchers I think you can roll with today. Cheese, why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, I think your whole starting point is just what are you going to do with Toronto? It's a big slate. I mean, it's not like a huge number of games, but it's like big as far as there's plenty of pitchers and plenty of offense to like. So, and then you have to wonder what exactly is the ownership on Toronto? I think it's a lot more than what we're showing. I think it's going to be, especially in like smaller field stuff, like we're showing essentially 18 to 20% on like the Toronto guys on DraftKings. In like smaller field, I think we're talking like 35 to 40 on some of them, like Barger and Varsho maybe and Kirk. But I do think because of the way the slate is, that ownership in the large field stuff where you're doing 150, it might get that spread out. In which case you have a bigger decision. Like, do you want to get massively over the field? Even though it's chalk, it's not like 50% owned either. I think it's pretty good chalk, but I am fading them in plenty of spots as well. So I want to let Tim talk about the pitching because I want to hear what he's going to say first. I'm going to throw it over to Tim as if I'm allowed to do that.
You are allowed to do whatever the heck you want.
Let's throw it over to Tim for the pitching, get the pitching started, and then I'll see if I want to shake it up.
Yeah, pitching is really, really deep tonight. I think there's plenty of really strong options. Mike Soroka seems to be the chalk option on both FanDuel and DK. He's 7,000 on DraftKings. He seems to be kind of like the chalk cash game guy, but I don't think he's some kind of like absolute lock. I don't even think it's terrible if you're not comfortable playing him in cash games. I don't think it's terrible not to play him even in cash games. Even though I usually just try to recommend and play the best points per dollar plays for cash, but it's just there's other options to go around today. There's Max Fried, Tyler Glasnow, Sean Manaea, and just a quick note, Dave did a really good job at his article, like he always does on FanDuel. Sean Manaea is my favorite pitcher just because of the price difference. He's $8,100 on FanDuel. So I mean, on FanDuel, I'd much rather play Manaea than Soroka. So just keep that in mind. And then there's other leftover guys like Kikuchi and Lodolo who are, I think, in pretty decent spots. they can also be in your cash game pool, in my opinion. So there really are, I think, 6 pitchers you could potentially play in GPPs. And I think as you're doing, your lineups this evening, just be kind of aware of the fact, like if you go Soroka and a bunch of core stuff, that's going to be like building a cash game team. And I think you're going to have like a narrow path to win. So just kind of like think about the totality of your lineup when building tonight. And then after those top 6 guys, I guess maybe some Quinn Priester's okay. If you need to go really, really cheap and play like all of the Toronto like high end stuff, Eric Fetty is decent, but I don't love it. And then outside of that,
would you pause? Would you rephrase to "you're allowed to play Eric Fetty in DFS" instead of "Eric Fetty is decent"? That sentence is just not okay.
Yeah, I mean you're allowed to play him tonight. You are allowed to play Fetty tonight at 5,200. Yeah, I mean it's definitely terrifying. But he could get you his 10, 12 points, and if those high-end Toronto guys go off, that might be what you need to win GPPs. So I mean, pitching is really deep tonight. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can go about it. If you're looking for my primary cash game pair, I guess it's Fried and Soroka, but it's super close amongst those first 6 that I mentioned.
We got Spidey Bomb number 3 about to be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Just dropped it. Salvador Perez plus 500 to go along with Christian Yelich and Will Smith today. Keep hitting that like button. We got the 4th one coming at 200 likes. So let's get us up to 200 likes. And we got Spidey Bomb at number 4. The beauty about playing the Kevin Roth role, like I am the host. I'm not the analyst today. Meaning you're not here to listen to what I have to say. I'm just directing the conversation, taking the QQs. And so I'm playing some low dollar stuff tonight. And this is not advice for what to do with your money. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I'm playing 40% to Eric Lauer today. Eric Lauer is going to be my highest owned pitcher. Cheese, what are you doing today at pitcher?
So yeah, the Michael Soroka like semi chalk is kind of a weird thing. I mean, it is a great price. We're talking DraftKings here. But when a guy goes to a new team, like we don't have any idea what the Cubs are going to do with him. Like he's been pretty much like a 4 or 5 inning guy, really. And part of that is his own. It just takes him a long time to get through an inning sometimes. Like it's not necessarily always been a pitch count thing. But I don't know. Let's say he pitches well and he's at like 81 pitches through 5. We don't have any idea if the Cubs are going to treat him like a guy that they're going to throw him back out there or if he's done at that point. If he's done at that point, then you don't really want him as chalk. If the Cubs are going to let him go a little deeper, then I think it's pretty good chalk. My lean is I like him enough better than all the other cheap stuff that I'm fine to play him. And I don't like him any worse than like the Kikuchi, Brian Bayo guys. I would play Kikuchi or Bayo just straight up over him with ownership considered. But the salary still matters. And kind of like what you were saying with the Eric Fetty thing, this certainly seems like a slate where it doesn't necessarily matter what you do at pitcher, as long as Glasnow or Fried don't get like 40. Like your 12 points for a cheap pitcher is probably okay today. So, and that includes Soroka. Like, even if the Cubs are going to just hold him at that 5 innings, 80 pitches, that's totally fine at 7K. But if they do that, then maybe you want JP Sears or Eric Lauer or even Eric Fetty. For me, I'm playing Sears ahead of Lauer and Fetty. But that's the cheap trio that I think you consider, and you kind of do them any way you want. But I'm more on the Sears side personally. But really, I think the best way to do it, if you can find just a couple more bats, is get at least one of the expensive guys. Because it doesn't matter, whatever you think of Soroka, Michael Soroka is not fantastic chalk. Like that, even if you like him, which I kind of do, that doesn't make him good chalk. Like if you can get up to Glasnow or Fried, definitely do that. So I would prefer like a Glasnow with a Sears than a Soroka with Kikuchi, if that's what you're working on. And like Tim said on FanDuel, Sean Manaea for 81. I don't think I actually have 100% of him on FanDuel, but pretty close. I think I got up to a couple Glass Nows, and I didn't consider anyone below him even for a second.
All right, Tim, why don't you take us into stacks? Obviously, we have Toronto at the top of the board tonight. Are you planning on going all in on the chalk? Are you going to be fading the chalk today? How you handling Coors? We're also only 20 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 4, so keep hitting that like button. I got more if you guys can get up to 250. So let's hit the likes and let's get some home run picks. Tim, who are you stacking up today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Toronto is the top stack on the board, and they're going to be incredibly popular just because we all saw that series against the Pirates. They gave up about, I think, 30 runs in three games. So I mean, obviously people want to go back to the well in Coors with Toronto tonight. Some of these guys I think are too cheap, and they're pretty easy to play. So Toronto's going to be overwhelmingly chalk. As far as what I'm personally doing, I'm trying to see if I can get some low-owned pitching, and if I can, I'll stack Toronto. But I don't know. It's kind of tough because in my single entry stuff, which is usually like in the $100 to $200 range contests, they're gonna be really, really popular. So they might be over-owned in a contest like that. So I might make a stand, but I'm kind of building it out as we go. I think if you're not playing Toronto, I really like Boston quite a bit against Bailey Falter. So I don't mind Boston as like a leverage stack off of Toronto. I think my next favorite would probably be San Diego, and then probably the Yankees. And then obviously I don't mind the Rockies, but I kind of prefer the Lauer side. I might not have 40% like you, TJ, but I kind of like Lauer over the Rockies. But I mean, the Rockies are always viable at home, and that hitting weather is fantastic.
Cheese, how about you? What do you plan on doing with Coors? Who do you like to stack up tonight?
I'm definitely over on Toronto, even with them being chalk. And what I mentioned in the musings is what I tried to do is in any one given tournament, like just be all in or all out on Toronto. You don't do that if you're doing 150. You obviously have to balance it out, but in like a 3 max entry here or a 5 max entry here, just I'm playing 5 Blue Jays stacks or none. I am also on I would call the Red Sox and the Padres my next 2 favorite stacks with Tim there. The Brewers, like what? It's the strangest little team. They're going to score 19 runs because that's what they do, even though who are these people? I do like the Brewers. And then on the sneaky side, I kind of like the Mets. And I'll stop there.
All right, let's start going position by position here. Then I will take your questions. We'll go to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat first. Then I'll be going to the YouTube chat second. I do really like the Milwaukee call. They're my second favorite team behind Toronto tonight. Cheese, starting with you. Who do you like at catcher?
I like when Alejandro Kirk is not 3,500. That's what I like. Like what? They did a good job. They got Vlad and Barger and Bichette and in Varsho priced up there, but they just missed a guy. It's like I thought it was all just one button, that this is the button you push to raise the prices, but they missed one. But that does make you have to kind of like spending up to be different. You can go all the way up to Goodman, but I like Spidey Bomb Will Smith and Spidey Bomb Sal Perez. I really like both of those guys. You don't have to play them in stacks. You can stack, but you don't have to. So I really think, as much as Kirk is a fantastic play, if you can spend up just a little to be different, that's what I would do. And for me, it's Perez 1 and Smith 2.
All right, Tim, how about you? Who do you like at catcher?
Yeah, when I was talking about how Toronto might be like really, really overowned, I was mainly talking about Alejandro Kirk. He's going to be pushing, I would assume 20-25% in like low dollar, high entry fee tournaments, and going to be like probably 50% in like mid-range, higher stake single entry stuff. So I mean, he's obviously your cash game guy if you're playing cash, but he's going to be really, really highly owned on today's slate. So do that what you will. Obviously, if I have all the money in the world, Hunter Goodman would be my top guy. I think pivots off of Kirk would be Fulford for Colorado, Austin Wells for the Yankees. I don't mind even like a little bit of Carson Kelly. I don't mind that at all. I don't even mind if you go just all the way down to like Francisco Alvarez too, just as like a punt off of the super chalk Kirk.
All right, take us over to first.
Yeah, I mean, Vlad's the guy. I mean, 6,500. You can definitely pay up for him today. He's relatively easy to get to, so he's definitely going to be your cash game guy. I think that's going to drive, Ohtani's projected ownership and overall ownership pretty low tonight. So if he's really going to be 6%, don't forget about him in GBPs in any format, whether it be single entry, 3 max, or large field stuff. I mean, Ohtani's going to go really, really low owned, I would imagine. If you're looking for somebody cheap at the position, Andrew Vaughn is the guy. I said that you could play Fetty. You can also stack Milwaukee. Milwaukee's pretty cheap tonight. So Andrew Vaughn is my favorite of the salary saving options at first.
All right, Cheese, how about you? What are you doing with Vlad? Who do you like at first?
Yeah, Andrew Vaughn should be more expensive than Alejandro Kirk, even if Kirk was priced appropriately. So, yeah, he shouldn't be 3K. I'm okay not having Vlad in my Blue Jay stacks even, much less on his own. Like, by all means, play him. Obviously, he's good. He's in cores. It's great. But I don't have much Vlad, and I have a lot of Blue Jays. Like I said, I have a lot of Blue Jays, and somehow I don't have a lot of Vlad. That's kind of weird lineup building, but it gets you a little different. So when I'm not playing Vlad, I prefer to go cheaper. I mean, sure, the Ohtani thing is great, but kind of the reason I'm not playing Vlad is for the salary. So that's where Vaughn comes in. It's where Paul Goldschmidt comes in. Tyler Locklear, need to go even cheaper than that. That's kind of what I'm focusing on there at first.
All right, take us over to second base. And yeah, that's someone in chat thinking like, could see the Jays having a big game and Vlad having a donut. I don't really think there's too many. Obviously, it's baseball. Anybody can do that. But I don't see too many scenarios where Vlad donuts. I see a day where, like most days, he has 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and at 6,500, you don't really need that.
Yeah, you don't. Even if he gets like 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, you don't necessarily need that. So, yeah, I think you can skip that. Second base is, it's always bad. It's okay today. Marte is an interesting spend up to be different if you're not playing Toronto. I love that Schneider got in the lineup because that balances things out a little bit. Like between him and Clement, I prefer Schneider over Clement. But I prefer both Jake Cronenworth and Bryce Terang ahead of the Blue Jays. So I'm going Cronenworth, Terang, and then Schneider. If I can't get up to Marte. Romy Gonzalez is interesting. 4,700 is fine. Like I think that's fair for him, but it doesn't make him some kind of must play. So I'm mostly going below 4K on DraftKings. I have more Marte on FanDuel, where it's just not that hard to get him.
All right, Tim, how about you? Who do you like at second?
Yeah, Bryce Terang is my favorite second baseman on the slate, but he's pretty close to guys like Schneider and Clement for Toronto. So obviously play those Toronto guys if you're stacking up Toronto. But I think in cash, I'm going to go with Terang. I do like Romy Gonzalez quite a bit for GPPs. I don't mind Jazz actually in large field stuff either at 5,300. Outside of those guys, I think it would just simply be like an only in stacks for the rest of this of this bunch.
All right, Tim, take us over to third. We are only 12 likes away from Spidey Bomb at number 4, so keep hitting that like button. Let's get us up to 200 likes. Very close to Spidey Bomb 4. Tim, who do you like at third?
I just am still in shock that I'm going to be clicking $5,800 Addison Barger. I still
And
feel
it feels
like
too
that's
cheap. It feels too cheap.
yeah, like I don't feel like I'm getting totally ripped off either. It just seems so odd to me. But I mean, he's definitely the guy tonight. He's third base outfield eligible. Yeah, I mean, I think he's really a fantastic play today. He's probably my favorite Blue Jay. I think it's pretty close. I do like Varsho quite a bit, but yeah, Barger I think is a great play. If you don't want to play that chalk, Alex Bregman I think is my next favorite, followed by Manny Machado. Obviously, you can always play Jose Ramirez, but he would be like a leftover for me. I don't mind like if you want to like punt the position. Mark Vientos at 2,500 I guess is okay. Like if you're getting some exposure to the Mets, I think he's okay. But this is really, I think you're going to be spending up at this position, and I think the guy is Barger tonight.
Right after I'm not muted anymore, and so Spidey Bomb number 4 likes away, should be able to get it very quickly here. As soon as Cheese is done at third base. Cheese, who do you like at third?
Yeah, so obviously Barger, but I was going to say Machado. I was hoping Tim would say Machado too. It was just in my head to say Manuel Machado. So as Tim was talking, I went and looked at his given name, Manuel Arturo Machado. I'm all in. Like that is so great. That's even better than just playing Manny Machado. Manuel Arturo Machado. I think that's the pivot off of Barger, or play them both. Play Barger in the outfield. I'm playing Bregman in Houston stacks. Houston stacks. May as well. Boston stacks. Ronnie Mauricio in my occasional Mets stacks. Siegler in my Brewer stacks. He's got some speed. But yeah, really Barger Machado. That's the position.
Someone in the YouTube chat asking, can we play Pete Alonso? Would you guys consider Alonso? And I can tell you what I'd absolutely consider him for is to be Spidey Bomb number 4 at plus 325. Pete Alonso going alongside Christian Yelich, Will Smith, and Salvador Perez today. Spidey Bomb number 4. If we get up to 250, I do have another one, but I don't think you guys can do it. Call it a challenge. Call it what you want. I don't think you can do it. Cheese, shortstop. Who do you like?
I think what I like is that Bobby Witt is like, I don't know, a fifth of the ownership of Bo Bichette. I will take Bobby Witt. That's my main takeaway from shortstop is I like Bobby Witt better than Bo Bichette. I do like Trevor Story a good bit for a little discount. You could also spend up to Ellie just to be super different. Or you could do Tovar. Probably more popular than Story or close, but I prefer Story there. And then I think everything else is just in a stack for me.
All right, Tim, how about you?
Yeah, I think Trevor Story is actually my favorite shortstop on the slate. I mean, obviously there's Bo Bichette, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that I'm looking to fade in that Toronto stack. I'm not exactly sure yet. But I'd be leaning to guys like Tovar, Story. I do like that take by Dave on Bobby Witt. I think that's a fantastic GPP play. I don't even mind like Zach Neto too at 5,300. I think he's a pretty solid large field play. It's always tough. Like I think personally I'm going to be playing Story, but I don't mind Tovar either at 4K, but it's probably going to be one of these low 4K guys for me in cash and my primary single entry team.
I'm just looking at Bo Bichette right now, and hold on. 1, 2, 3. In his last 9 games, how many hits do you think he has?
I have no
1.
idea.
I don't know, 9.
However many it is, it can't be as many as Joey Ortiz, but tell us.
18. 18
Oh,
hits
it's more
in the
than
last
Joey
9 games.
Ortiz.
He's just been hitting absolutely anything that comes his way. If I'm not mistaken, he's leading the American leagues in hits. I really think that this is like, I want to go all in on him today with that massive outfield that they have in Colorado. This just feels like a day that a lot of his singles could turn into doubles and triples. And so I'm going all in on Bo today.
See, what you
maybe
guys
I
are
was going to
talking
say,
about.
like, it's so many singles. But yeah, maybe they do turn into doubles. Like, it's conceivable.
When you guys were talking about Vlad, I was thinking about Bo Bichette, like, two or three singles and like 2 RBIs. Is that enough for 5,700? It's gonna be close. So he's the guy that I'm most concerned about over Vlad. But I mean, who really knows? He's still a fantastic play.
Tim, who do you like at the outfield?
Yeah, Dalton Varsho, 4,900. Obviously, if you're not playing Barger at third, I think you should be playing him in the outfield. But then there's Varsho at 4,900. Absolutely love him. Some of these cheaper Colorado guys, I don't mind, like Brenton Doyle, Jordan Beck. I think they're pretty decent for GPPs. Nathan Luke's obviously batting leadoff at 4,500. I think he's fine, but I do prefer Barger and Varsho over Luke's. And then there's Christian Yelich right around that same price range too that I like quite a bit. So I think that those are some pretty decent spend up options. If you're looking to get contrarian, I think Juan Soto or Fernando Tatis are completely fine plays, especially if they're very, very low projected ownership. I don't mind Jaron Duran at 4,400. I talked about how Boston's my favorite non-Coors stack, so I don't mind him for GPPs. And then don't forget about Mike Trout at 4,300. The matchup is not amazing, but I think he's a decent play for large field.
My 12 highest owned outfielders either play for the Blue Jays, the Brewers, or the Rockies today. Cheese, who do you like in the outfield?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a fine way to do it. Just play the Coors Field guys or the people playing against Eric Petty. I'll probably score a lot of points with all of that. I love Tim's to spend up and be different, Soto and Tatis. I've got both of them very high on my list. And I also, Varsho is also my second favorite Blue Jay. I have Barger and Varsho more than any of the other Blue Jays. I also am playing Loper Fido ahead of Nathan Lukes with the massive discount, even though he's down in the order. I like Jackson Merrill. I think Mike Trout is also okay, and Yelich. Yelich will be played in Brewer stacks. I'm not sure he'll be played on his own. I like him on his own. Stanton in that range as well. I think you can do a cheap Austin Slater, even if he gets pinch hit for. The Yankees have so many new players. Like, we don't know how they're going to treat all these guys. Like, I don't know if they pinch hit for all of Rosario, Slater, and Caballero. They might, or they might just let them all play. I don't know what they're going to do. But I think Slater is fine, even if it's only a couple of bats. I think that's enough to mention. There's a ton of names here, but that's the bulk of them.
Start taking some QQs. Going to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat first. Going to the YouTube chat second. YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like button. Before we do, let's talk a little football. Fantasy Labs is your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content. Get access to rankings, projections, articles, and more from award-winning experts Sean Corner and Chris Raybon. Fantasy Labs now is an app that allows you to get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, and lineup advice on the go. Sign up now with code RG15 for $15 off at Fantasy Labs. I'm about 22 best ball teams in, Tim. Have you been doing any drafting?
I still haven't started yet. I really need to.
I feel like last year at this time you were cooking with the drafts.
Yeah, I was probably 7,500 deep by now, but I
75 what? 75 what?
75 to 100 best ball teams drafted.
75 to 100. I thought you said 7,500.
7,500.
Oh, sorry. No, definitely not. No.
Okay. That sounds fair. All right.
Yeah, I feel like last year at this time I was at about 50 and I'm at about 20 this year, but had a later start, but I've been enjoying getting into it a little bit recently. Let's start taking some QQs. Cheese, who are the Toronto priorities in DK Cash? So maybe 3 to 4 guys. Like, who are the ones you absolutely need to have in cash? Kirk won. I started things off for you. Did the hard part for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I would go Kirk, Barger, Vlad, Bichette in that order for cash.
Kirk, Barger, Vlad, Bichette. I like it. Makes sense. Tim, DK single entry. Francisco Alvarez or Travis d'Arnaud?
Alvarez.
Cheese, do you prefer Soroka or Sears in DK cash today?
Soroka.
Tim, what do you think about JP Sears on FanDuel for a GPP today?
Let me just check his price real quick. 7. I don't really like it. Personally, I'd rather play Fetty at 6,400 or just find the money for guys like Soroka or Manaya. But I don't really like Sears at 7K there.
Cheese, what do you think about a Met stack for DK GPPs?
I love a Met stack. If I only had 3 lineups today, one of them would be a Met stack.
Tim, if you could choose one player, no prices doesn't matter. I'm assuming they're playing some MLB beat the streak. If you could choose one player to get one hit today, who would you go with, and why is it Bo Bichette?
Yeah, you guys really are on the Bo Bichette train today.
If it's a single, I mean, come on, he's getting it.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I was thinking Vlad.
Fair.
But personally, I'd go Vlad, but Bo is fine. Either one of those two.
2 guys that are going to be making a lot of contact with the ball today for sure.
I'm just worried they're going to get 3 to 6 points tonight. That's what I'm really nervous about.
Cheese, who would you choose between Blake Perkins or Isaac Collins?
I would take Isaac Collins.
Is the Atlanta and Milwaukee game going to be played today? Yes, it will. Roth is predicting for a small amount of rain, some small drizzles. That's about it. Maybe there's a chance it has a little late start, but we're not worried about that one from a postponement perspective. Tim, would you play Ref Snyder in your Boston stack, or would you be worried about pinch hit risk and just go with Roman Anthony?
I think I would rather go Roman Anthony. Ref Snyder has a close to a 50% chance of being hit for, according to the bat. That's really, really high. I do like that Boston stack quite a bit, but I think I would just lean with Roman Anthony.
Chad is absolutely painting a picture where they're playing vintage Dante Bichette highlights in Rocky Stadium after Bo Bichette hits a couple home runs today, and I gotta say, I love it. I love the ideas, guys. Keep them coming. FanDuel utility, Cheese, Kirk or Trevor Story?
Do Story. Be a little different.
All right, let's go back to the Discord chat, see what we have here. We have about 15 minutes left to lock, so get your questions in. Get them in about, dinner, baseball, football, what have you. Get your questions in. And then if we run out of questions, we will get out of here a little bit early. It's not like we're worried about weather stuff or anything like that. DK, GPP, Cheese, Contreras, and Lockridge, or Yelich and Wong?
That would be Yelich and Wong for me.
DK cashed him Schneider and Lukes, or Clement and Doyle?
I guess the one with Luke's.
4,200 or less in the outfield for DK cash, Cheese. Who are you going with?
42. I mean, if you need the salary somewhere else and just play low Profido and have the money, if you don't need that salary,
Doyle looking like the next guy?
Like I would say Doyle. Like honestly, I would. You said 42. Okay. Yeah. Doyle. Trout is 43, so that doesn't fit. Doesn't fit the criteria. I wanted it to, but it does not.
Tim, you okay with playing Lodolo and Soroka in the same lineup?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Large field DK GPP. It is a 2v2, but they gave it a 3v3. But Ohtani is on both. Would you go Tovar and Barger or Betts and Muncy to make it a Dodgers mini stack? Cheese. The second one would leave 1,200 on the table.
We don't have the Dodgers lineup yet, right? Like, we don't know for sure that Muncy's back tonight. Like, he might be. So if you have to decide now, don't do Muncy. But honestly, I'd do the other one anyway.
Yeah, it's Ohtani, Barger, Tovar, or Ohtani.
Yeah, just do that.
Muncy. Yeah,
and I'm totally okay with playing one-offs in course day. I don't think it has to be stacked or nothing. So guys like Barger, like on their own, I'm quite happy with anyway.
Tim, I don't think we'd have to worry too much, but do you mind pulling up the bat and seeing what Varsho's pinch hit risk is today?
Yeah, I saw that question. I just pulled it up. It's only 3%. So I really would not. I would not worry about it.
That's what I thought as well. I feel like
maybe Loper Fido before Varsho.
Well, weirdly enough, Loper Fido actually goes against lefties often too. Like, I think like maybe even Luke's would be the most likely to if somebody does, but
probably no one does.
Probably really. No one. That's my guess.
According to the bat, it's Loper Fido then Luke's. But personally, I think it's going to be Luke's. And I'm not playing Luke's in my primary single entry team or my cash game team, which normally I would, but I don't know. So I'm taking a pass on him tonight.
I think if anyone it'd be Luke's, but I mean, if a lefty comes in, like how badly do they really want to get Miles Straw in there? You know, like I don't really know.
They really want him to be the Miles that stirs the drink tonight. They'll have to push for it.
I have not seen it yet, but somebody in the Discord chat saying that Dodgers lineup just came out and it does have Muncy in it.
Good to have him back. That really helps the Dodgers more than like since Muncy went out, the Dodgers have not been the same. Maybe he's the missing piece.
He's the Acuna of the Braves. The Braves immediately all suck whenever Acuna is not in there. And so I think Muncy's that for the Dodgers. Is Joey Ortiz in DK Cash getting too silly, Cheese?
In cash, I mean, if you can't get up to Bichette and someone like Story is really pushing it, then play Ortiz. So no, I don't think it's absolutely horrendous.
Tim's cheap second base play, you going with Adam Frazier or Christian Moore?
Is that a cash question?
Doesn't say.
So it was Moore or Frazier?
Yeah.
I guess Frazier, but I don't like either one of those plays.
Apparently, the place that has posted the Dodgers lineup is DraftKings, so I don't think that's necessarily a source that we want to trust yet for sure. I haven't seen it posted anywhere else, and so they may have accidentally just hit send on their own projected lineup. So keep that keep an eye out for the Dodgers lineups here. See if we can get anything official. Collins or Perkins in your Brewer stack. You said Collins there, Cheese. FanDuel Cash, Tim, Varsho, or Luke's?
I would go Varsho.
All right. What do you think about Yastrzemski in Fenway today, Cheese? His grandpa and family are there, so keep that in mind.
Well, then yeah. I mean, he's fine. Like he's pretty far down the list of those mid-tier, outfielders, but he's viable. I wouldn't tell you you're crazy.
Peter says DraftKings is a partner with MLB. You can trust them with everything. That is very not true. They always are posting bad lineups on there. So as much as we would love that to be true, they accidentally post false lineups on there all the time. Say somebody's in when he's not. Say somebody's starting when he's not. Merrill or Laureano, DK GPP cheese.
Oh, that's a very close one. I actually kind of like Laureano. I really like them both because I like the Padres. I kind of like Laureano. Yeah, I'll go that way.
DK Cash, Glasnow, Tovar, Loperfido, or Kikuchi, Bichette, and Doyle. I'll take that one because you can't play Kikuchi. It's got to be the Glasnow side. Let's just see. Stanton, Trout, or Lukes for DK Cash, Tim?
It would really come down to Trout or Lukes for me. Probably would still go. I guess I'd go Lukes just to get that exposure to the Coors, but it's really close between Lukes and Trout.
Cheese, this one, where did it go here? I just lost it. There's one that I was going to say. This is a tough one here, but not a tough one, but this is one that I feel like the answer is neither. DK Cash, Kikuchi, or Hauser.
No. If you absolutely have to one of them, it would Kikuchi, but I wouldn't do either. At that point, I'd just go cheaper and have the extra salary.
All right. What else do we have here? Tim, we got the time. So what is your reasoning behind going Varsho over Lukes today? Is it just like for cash? Is it just that small potential pinch hit risk?
Yeah.
And also,
that really,
Nathan Lukes' ISO this year against righties is 155 and Dalton Varsho's is 397.
Yeah, Varsho has way better the power bat, and he has far less pinch hit risk. So for me, that's a pretty easy 1v1. But obviously, you can play Lukes if you want to. But I just think Varsho is a better play and a better hitter overall.
Yeah, Varsho almost over double the ISO. It's smaller sample size, but over double the ISO of Lukes this year. FanDuel best outfielder 3,100 and below. Cheese.
31 outfit. I'm gonna have to look at that. It's right above 31 is pretty great. I think Jordan Beck is a very good play there. Yeah, let's just say Jordan Beck.
We have our third Perkins or Collins for your Brewer stack. It's still Collins. Collins on all of them. Yelich and Collins or Goodman and Tyler Freeman for FanDuel, Tim?
I would go the Yelich Collins, but they're both really good.
DK single entry cheese, Bregman, Story, and Wong. So basically a Boston stack or a Milwaukee stack. Bregman, Story, Wong, or Yelich, Contreras, Ortiz.
I would do the Boston side.
All right. Tim, who is your favorite DK pitcher pairing?
I guess it's Soroka Fried, but there are quite a few pairings. I'll list my top 6 pitchers because I think you could pair all these guys. That'd be Soroka, Fried, Glasnow, Minaya, Kikuchi, and Lodolo. So I think of those 6, you could find really, really solid pairings there.
Vlad or Ohtani as a one-off, geez.
I mean, I would need to know the rest of your lineup. But let's just say it's Ohtani. Let's just assume the rest of your lineup has at least some of the jog.
Shout out to Mitchell Mayo in chat because I forgot to ask you wonderful gentlemen for home run calls, and Cheese was probably just going to let that slide under the rug because he doesn't want to.
We were going to let it slide right on by there, TJ.
But unfortunately, Locke is not at 7:05. It is 7:10. So we need to do the home run calls. Tim, I'll throw it to you first. Give us some taters today. Who you got hitting a home run?
Yeah, so I'll go Bryce Terang. I have to go Addison Barger. I probably wouldn't bet his number. I haven't looked at his number yet, but probably wouldn't bet it. But as part of like a home run parlay, maybe I'd go Bryce Terang, Addison Barger, Dalton Varsho. I love tonight, obviously. And probably just those three would be my taters tonight.
My Spidey Bombs today, we got Christian Yelich, Will Smith, Sal Perez, and Pete Alonso. Cheese, who do you got hitting a home run today?
We will do something different than those Spidey Bombs. There's some good Spidey Bombs. Do Juan Soto, Ramon Laureano, and the cheap guy will be Tyler Locklear.
DK single entry. Cheese, you want Varsho and Schneider or Lukes and Clement? The power strikeout guys,
Varsho Schneider,
or
not even
the contact guys.
Yeah.
Varsho
Yeah, you
Schneider.
don't want the extra singles or a walk and a run. Like go for the power guys. Varsho Schneider.
Cheese, this was for you specifically. It says, do you like Doyle or Beck more tonight?
I like Beck more.
We got confirmation the Dodgers lineup is not officially out yet. It is a DraftKings mistake, so don't go by what they are saying. Maybe it ends up being the same.
First one ever, TJ. They were bound to make one eventually. There it is.
Dodgers, it's a DK mistake. Dodgers lineup are not officially out yet. I think we have.
But he will probably like. If I had to guess, I would say it's slightly more likely that he plays. Like we're not saying he's not going to play. He's a maybe to come back tonight. I think they want him back if he's ready.
Tim, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of a recap of pitcher and your top 3 stacks.
Yeah, pitching is pretty tough tonight. I think the cash game pairing is Soroka and Fried. I do like guys like Kikuchi and Lodolo for GPPs. Obviously, players like Glasnow and Minaya are great too. So those are my top 6 at pitching. Toronto is clearly the top stack on the board. I do like Boston as my favorite non-Coors stack. I love San Diego a lot tonight. They would probably be number 3 for me. And I'm kind of interested in the Mets a little bit now too, as I've been breaking it down. The Mets and the Yankees I like quite a bit on the slate.
So Sportsnet LA, the exclusive TV home of the Dodgers, posted 37 minutes ago that a full lineup that has Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, Hernandez, Conforto, Pajas, Rojas. Dodgers team hasn't picked it up, nor has our lineup page, but I think that is very official, considering that is their TV partner. Let's see here. Trying Varsho there. Who are the main Red Sox pinch hit risks, Tim?
For Boston?
Yeah.
Definitely Ref Snyder, I think, would be the clear riskiest of that group. And then Romy Gonzalez would be next. Possibly a little bit with Connor Young, but Ref Snyder and Gonzalez are the 2 I think you have to worry about the most. Definitely Ref Snyder. He's got massive pinch hit risk.
Peter, who is saying that we should trust DraftKings, is now saying we should not trust TV partners. So now I don't know who to trust.
Peter was 100% joking. If you don't know Peter,
I didn't catch the sarcasm, Peter. That's my bad.
Like he didn't even put the sarcasm in there, and yet I read it with the sarcasm. He was sarcastic.
Yeah, that's my bad. I was reading too many things. Like, for what it's worth, for everyone to get a full, if you tuned in late, you want to understand the confusion. There has not been an official Dodgers lineup yet. Some places are taking it as official, some are not. It's a TV partner that has thrown out a lineup. We don't know if it is for sure the official one. We are expecting Max Muncy to be back today. They said there is a good chance that he plays, but we don't 100% know for sure yet. GQ, DK, GPP large field is Soroka and Kikuchi different enough to use with Coors Field chalk, Tim?
I don't think so. Our projected ownership has Soroka as the most popular and Kikuchi as the 3rd most popular pitcher. I'm kind of surprised by that Kikuchi number. I'm not surprised by that Soroka number. So I'm a little bit concerned about that build of a team. I think you'll have a pretty narrow path to the top. And if your goal is to win all the money, I don't know. Like if your goal is to win all the money in a large field GPP, I find it a little bit hard if you go Soroka, Kikuchi, and Coors Bats.
Seconds after I finished our Dodgers rant, Max Muncy gets officially activated off of the IL. And so we should be able to get that official lineup any minute now that they have officially taken him off of the injured list. Cheese, DK single entry, best pitcher, $8,500 or less.
Well, there's not a best. My favorite is to go all the way down to JP Sears and have extra money. I guess like if you just aren't using the extra money, it's probably Kikuchi. But I don't really love him.
I'll throw out just a guy that I don't mind for tournaments tonight. And somebody asked about him in cash. I think he's a hard no for cash, but for tournaments, I don't think it's crazy to play Adrian Hauser today. Really strong ground ball rate and has been quite good against those right-handed bats. And the only lefties he's facing today are Shanuel and Moncada. And so with 7 righties there in the lineup, I don't mind some Hauser if you want to take a shot on that for GPPs. Are we good on the Atlanta weather tonight? Yes, we are expecting to be totally fine there. Last question here from the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. Then I think we will get out of here. Smash that like button on your way out. DK Cash, Tim, Lukes and Beck, or Varsho and Doyle?
Varsho and Doyle.
Now, one last question. One starting pitcher to take down a FanDuel tournament. Cheese, who do you got?
I got Sean Manaea. It's chalky, but like he's too cheap.
That'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Good luck tonight in all of your contests. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. On behalf of myself, Tim, Cheese, the wonderful Steve, doing a great job behind the scenes. We'll see you next time. Peace.